So this topic might be a little bit heated. We've all heard this before. Oh, Gacha Game's bad, blah, blah, blah. Gacha games do gacha things. Oh, we've all heard it before. But this one is a statement. Now, I'm going into this with good faith, and so please, let's everybody just be respectful. We can all have opinions, we can all disagree or agree. We can at least hear out the other side, or hear out all the arguments. This is why China must abolish gacha games in 2026. Now, I've not watched this, but I have theorized some things. First things first was Chinese gacha games. So this says China. Now, not every single gacha game is made of China. And I'm going to get this out here now. Here's my potentially unpopular opinion. Gacha games are still games, so we can review them and see them as games. Okay? Gacha is just either a strategy or a monetization. Now, those are two different things. Now, I asked ChatGPT, do you know what a gacha game is? And it was like, okay, randomized draws, rarity tiers, premium currency, limited time banners. We're all familiar with this. So this comes into what classifies as a gacha game. Now, some popular examples, Genshin Impact, Star Rail, FGO, Arknights. Asked it, can you list which gacha games are not developed by Chinese companies? We've got Fate Grand Order, Dokkan Battle, by extent, Dragon Ball Legends, Fire Emblem Heroes, Pokemon Masters. Pokemon's a gacha, believe it or not. Grand Blue Fantasy. Korean, Cookie Run Blue Archive, Marvel Future 7 Nights. No Limbus Company, that's a crime. I'm going to mention it now. Then Western, Marvel Strike Force, Raid Shadow Legends. Not every gacha game is made by a Chinese company. Could be owned by one, sure, say like Tencent, but just so you're aware, this video is saying China must abolish gacha games, but there's still an abundance out there. Now you might be wondering, what's the difference? Oh no, he's using Reddit, argument invalid. Hear me out. So gacha is synonymous with the monetization scheme. Not the actual... For example, look at Hades, Hades 2. Roguelikes have a gacha system involved. Speaking of, I have Wuthering Waves here. This in and of itself is a gacha system. And just to really drive this home, we go here, when it finally loads. Eventually in like 5 years. Right now, I'm going to get one of 3 gifts. I'm rolling the gacha, as it were. Congratulations, this is a gacha system within a game. We've all seen this before in other games. Just because it's tied to a world-famous gacha game, it's still a game, it's a system, not for strategy. I'm going to get this. Right, so, with that said, we're going to react to this with good faith. I believe the heart's in the right space, or the heart's in the right place, and hopefully they make some good points. God, you're right. Hold up. That's me. That's on me. My bad. Streamer is washed. I'm aware. Hold up. This is me being professional as fuck. Take 2.
In the last few years, it seems that people have become more politically aware and more politically educated. And I mean, the stuff that has happened in the last few years definitely have forced a lot of people to reevaluate their beliefs and political affiliations.
Right off the bat, I don't see how politics ties into gacha games. I really don't. Hopefully, they expand on this.
It's almost becoming unpopular to be someone who is oblivious to the happenings of the world. Kinda.
I don't. What's the need for that?
Right? I grew up relatively oblivious to politics and stuff like it. And only recently, in my old age of 22 years old, have I taken the time to actually learn about stuff like capitalism, socialism, imperialism, and even though where I come from, we do learn about colonialism, it wasn't until recently that I actually paid attention to it. You know what I mean? And no doubt the reason I and so many others became interested about learning all of this is due to the shit show that has unfolded in the last 4 years. But even so, up until recently, I still did not have a particular political leaning. I'm what the streets call...
This has to be going somewhere, right?
But that, of course, changed. All because of a video game.
Ain't no fucking way!
Now that seems outrageous, I know, but this game taught me the true meaning of class struggle and what it means to live in a capitalist bourgeois system where my livelihood was out of my control and how the elite continues to live off of my labor. Now you're thinking, what might that game be, you know? Is it a game with a heavy story that details the struggles of the common folk? Is it a game that teaches about...
Alright, first of all, intro is like far too long. I get they're trying to set up a point, but and this is just my personal gripe with it. I get he's trying to set up a point. It's taken way too long to get there. And I still don't see how politics and like capitalism, communism, socialism tie into playing a video game in the big 2026. Like, is that just me? Am I the only one thinking that?
The oppressive nature of the capitalist system? Is it a game that portrays socialism in its true form without capitalistic propaganda? Nope! None of that! It's actually gacha games, baby!
The Vine boom, come on. Am I gonna get struck for this? No, I should be fine. Oh, okay. Already, I don't think this is a good video. There's a lot of stalling to get to the point. Just nice little lick bit here. Like, exactly, Sparkle. It's, what does any of this, in fact, hold up. I'm going to mute this just in case. What does any of this have to do with why China has to abolish gacha games in 2026? I don't understand it. Chairman Mao, I think? I don't know. Like, well, what is all the... What is the point? Is it satire? Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it is. In fact, hold up. Sparkle, this is not satire. None of this is satire. So just to double check, I did some brain rot and I asked ChatGPT, what is satire? I could be wrong here, but it could be potentially trying to ridicule, make a subject look foolish. But this isn't foolish. This is just nonsensical. With, I assume, a Chinese national anthem. I don't know. I believe it or not, I'm not Asian. I know, crazy. There's no ridicule. There's no parody. I get you. I don't see what's going on here. I think this is oh god. Alright, say less. I'm hopeful there's a point. I really am. Because so far, this video, I'm trying not to ridicule it. I'm trying to react to this in good faith. But there's no point been made. It's been over 2 minutes now. You have not told me a single point about why China must abolish gacha games in 2026. The point has not been made yet. And it's been well over 2 minutes.
I know this sounds insane to any regular person, but it's something that has always irked me, Because the type of stuff that these games do always gets a free pass. Because anime! And I've been...
It does not get a free pass. Numerous people talk about this. In fact, I believe CC should do a better job at doing this, saying, hey, please be responsible, don't be like me, and end up with something like this, where I got IMUF. I've done it again where it's like, hey, what if I just, build pity? It's a fucking myth, don't do it. Shit. I lose this 50-50. Shit! And now we need the weapon. Now we need the weapon because it's guaranteed, and that's how these stupid fucking companies get you. Oh, it's 100% guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. Different currency, it's all scummy. You know what? Maybe this video is right. Maybe we should just fucking delete gacha. Fuck it. The monetization, not the gameplay. Fuck, man. Even though I don't want IMUF.
Playing this genre of games since FGO came out. See, the game that really broke the camel's back for me is Honkai Star Rail. And I have a love-hate-love relationship.
Okay, I kinda get it now. Hold up, he might be cooking.
With this game. And it's mostly got to do with the gacha mechanic itself and the problem that spawns from it. But there are still people who just, don't get it. Things like power creep and fans.
We talked about this. It's not a gacha mechanic. It's a monetization. The gacha mechanics in Star Rail themselves are fine. Once again, it's the difference between the gacha system and the gacha monetization. I think he's trying to focus on the monetization, but he's labeling it under the broad term of just, here's what gacha is. All of it. And it's not.
Service are not isolated or individual issues of some of these games, but rather they are the lifeblood of these games. They are part of the mechanism that move these games and are the main contributor to the bloated revenue generated by these companies.
Okay, I think I understand that. He's trying to say monetization is a big part about how they make money, but we already knew that already. And once again, more people should be made aware or speaking about being like, hey, be responsible. They want money first and foremost. I've done it constantly. I will continue to do so. We need more of that. Also, yeah, low-key, do you really gamble maxing? Buckle up, we've got some brain rot.
For example, power creep is something that they put in this game and other games too, but in this game it's less of a natural result of newer characters being better because the game itself is evolving, but rather a conscious effort to make older characters just unusable so that you are pressured to spend money or spend an unhealthy amount of time on the game.
You know, yeah, you're exactly right. Everybody give Shady your info. But people when the company wants money, yeah. Now, bear in mind, this is an absolutely fair point. Star Rail's power creep has been a problem. Take a look at Genshin Impact. Right now, the most extreme case of power creep we've got was Natlan, in fact. For the longest time, units were still good. In fact, Bennett, a 1.0 4-star unit, was meta viable in a lot of meta teams for the longest time. I believe like even in 4.x. It wasn't until Natlan where they really spiked things up. And it's the same thing here with Star Rail. You can tell, like, Fei Xiao, for example. Fei Xiao has really fallen off, and that's because follow-up has fallen off. And instead of going back to support the archetype or the team playstyle of follow-up, they said, hey, here's Elation, which is basically follow-up 2. Doesn't really help.
Now, a huge portion of the player base, Mossad agents included, will say to just pull better or plan your pulls, or some of the cope bullshit that they love to say.
It's not cope bullshit. That is genuine. That's how you should do it. Otherwise, if you don't plan your pulls responsibly and manage your money, you end up in debt. Or with a possible addiction, okay? You can't say, oh, it's cope to say manage your pulls. What else can you do other than spend all your life savings? That is a stupid take. I am sorry. It is not cope. It's not bullshit. It is a thing you have to do. Otherwise, you end up in financial debt with potential to ruin your life. Which is what CCs should be warning people about instead of going, hey, it's cope. Do that. Okay. So hold up. Everybody calm down. And by everybody, I mean me. Hold up. Again, respectful.
But the thing is, in other free-to-play non-gacha games, no matter how pressured you are by the game devs, or the community, or the game itself to spend money, you are never actually missing out on anything by not spending money. Like, you can still play Fortnite and be good in Fortnite, even if you didn't buy the best.
FOMO still exists. You can argue, oh, it doesn't because you can get them back to reruns, but you don't know that. Take, for example, the Dragon Ball skins that came out. Or better yet, Jujutsu Kaisen. Here's the banner right now. I understand peak brain rot right here. FOMO still exists whether you want to admit it or not. It doesn't matter if it's spending money, characters. In fact, reruns happen for a reason. If we go back to Star Rail, yes, I got Imouth, sadly. But if I wanted Imouth, I could just wait further down the line, plan my pulls accordingly, manage money so I can get her. Problem solved. You can't just say, hey, don't worry about it. FOMO exists for a reason. FOMO exists to get you to want to spend money. That's how they do it. You can't just say, oh, it doesn't exist, don't worry about it.
Pass. Because in non-gacha games, purchasable items are usually cost.
Fortnite is not a non-gacha game, by the way. You still have to roll to get the skins. I believe, I don't know, I don't play Fortnite, because believe it or not, I'm 68 years old.
cosmetics, skins, and stuff like that, right? That don't have a significant impact on gameplay or the gameplay experience. I mean, at least not anymore. And no, just because a gun skin from Call of Duty or Apex has a different iron sight does not create a significant enough change in experience.
Except League of Legends, where I believe a skin did in fact change how meta viable a character was.
But for gacha games, it's different, because the characters that you are spending money or time on is the experience.
And I believe as well, you can still spend money on Fortnite, so it's not free to play. You can play it free to play. Absolutely. Doesn't mean that it is free to play.
It's the game. You have to have the characters. Otherwise, at best, you are missing out on a few characters, or at worst, you are playing a...
I really want to argue this. But no, that is using Star Rail as an example, and Star Rail is the perfect example of this.
Different game than other people. Take me for example, right? I did not play for a majority of Honkai Star Rail version 3.0.
Fair, valid.
Be lifing sometimes, which means I missed out almost the entire new character banners, like almost all of them. I am missing out on an entire new class of characters. I am basically playing the 2.0 version of the game in 3.0, and now I know.
But reruns do exist. In fact, reruns happening right now.
My case is an extreme one, and HSR itself is an extreme example.
Case in point, I can't get it on the screen right now because it will take too long, but Hysolins, a Chrysos Air from 3.5, is in fact rerunning right now. Sure, they're trying to show Dot because Kafka's rerunning, or you can get Kafka for free. Black Swan has just had a Nova Flare, which is their version of a buff.
But the point still remains that if you don't spend Israel amount of money or David Goggins amounts of time in most of these games, you are technically locked out of the main content of the game, because new characters brings new mechanic or new...
I wouldn't say you're locked out of the game, but you can still attempt to play the game like the endgame modes. It's just you're going to have a really miserable time because you don't have the latest shield characters. And that's what they do, they shield these things.
New playstyles. Again, the main appeal and gameplay of these games comes from the characters. So essentially, a free-to-play player is playing a different game compared to the median paying player who themselves are playing a different game compared to the elite bourgeois whale deep-pocketed players.
Oh god. Oh god. To be fair though, Sparkle, you can get a lot of characters free to play. Doesn't mean that people want to do that. Which is, once again, a case of be responsible with your money, manage pools, for example. You're basically doing that.
And then you have the character designs themselves, right? People within the community will argue day and night about which games have more Gunnar or Sharia compliant designs, completely missing the point that the characters are designed to maximize profits. And since the Gunnar demographic, for whatever reason, tend to be the highest spender, the designs will cater to them. Again, people have this weird tribalistic way of thinking where they think, oh, my favorite game that doesn't do this weird shit, or, oh, but this game does it on male characters. Reverse 1999 doesn't do it. It's the best game ever. Honestly, I've seen more people talk about that game than actually playing it. But they're all the same!
How about you show those people? You know? So if anybody didn't make the game better / easier, you wouldn't spend. Yeah, I don't think calling Reverse 1999... Ezio. I've not really played Reverse 1999, but I know for a fact, on his release, Ezio was by far the best character. In fact, he still might be. Guess how you get him? You can get it by spending money, believe it or not. Not because, sure, it helps the... This boils down to a lot of things, like Ima, for example. Ima is, by all counts, a great character, currently the new shield character. And she looks like this as an attempt to be waifu bait to entice you to spend money. But it's not just the design. It is also the story that revolved around her, the world building that goes into the game. It's not just, oh my god, Booba must pull thighs. Like, what?
They're all the same, you dumb fucks. They're gacha games. They're all the same. They are all the same profit maxing slop generator for character designs. And every single time, all of you will buy into it. Like the good little Gunnar slop consumer that you are.
Is the purpose of this video to insult people? Because if it is, great. You're not really making a good point, in my opinion. Like, I get the points they're trying to make, but they're not really doing a good job. They're just kind of saying stuff that they think might be funny and hoping it is funny. And fair, granted, some of it is funny. I don't see it as much, but sure.
Motherfuckers on here and Zwitter, that will be X plus Twitter, will be like, I wish they could give us pity at a lower pull count, or, we should get rid of 50-50s. You know what we should do instead? Get rid of the gacha mechanic itself, you stupid gambling addicted bitch.
Once again, it's the same issue. It's gacha as a whole. He's basically saying he wants to get rid of the word. I said, normally, I don't want to put words in the mouth, so I'm going to try this a different way. I believe what he is trying to say is remove gacha. Remove the word gacha from the game, okay? Unfortunately, it's not that simple. You want to say remove the monetization from the game while keeping the gacha aspects of like the roguelike elements, the potential characters and whatnot. You're saying remove, I don't want to spend money to get the characters. You want to do it like a Abyss situation where you don't have to spend money to get the character. You don't have to gamble for the characters. You can get the characters at a later date on your own time. You can't just say remove gacha, because what's the alternative? Just a AAA game? A Hades without any of the buffs you can get? Like, yeah, you're right, Shed. It does fit into the China category. But it's not just Chinese games that do that. So let's say we remove the gambling gacha from these games. Okay, now the game is fully price subscription based. Exactly, you're still spending money to get them. So for example, World of Warcraft. That's a subscription based game. I believe Warframe's completely free to play. Never mind, ignore that.
Some of you are arguing which gacha games gives you more free shit. Which, I mean, it's great. No complaints there.
Yeah, free shit is good. If it's free, it's for me. That's a good thing. And granted, the games don't have to give you free stuff, but they do anyway as a sign of good faith. And also a way to kind of go, hey, look how generous we are. You want to invest more time in us as they reel in the bait.
But you guys are arguing which casinos gives you more free cookies. Like, you guys are constantly making the argument and the comparison between which is better, trash or garbage, while completely ignoring the fact that they are charging you $50 Imperial dollars a character on a good day.
Alright, let's just disprove that right now. Hey Denzel, how you doing? Let's disprove that right now, shall we? They are not charging you $50. They are charging you $100. Well, for me, £100. Or like $100, $50. So, yeah. I do kind of agree. Like, they charge you a lot of money. It's like, oh, what's better? It's like the South Park thing of the, would you rather have a giant douche or a turd sandwich? I'd prefer neither, but, you know, whichever one's more polished. And yeah, but tribalism is stupid. Once again, Sparkle. Once again, I just want to say, yeah, unless it's Limbus. With Gacha Games Have Gacha, we're viewing this in the vein of they are games with gacha on the side, because gacha games are still games. But it's gacha games. Remember that. Don't go to a seafood restaurant and go play, they have seafood on the menu. Exactly. Let's keep going.
$50 or your time worth $50 for a core component of the game. For $50, you getting a whole bundle on Fortnite, maybe even.
Hey guys, spending money on this gacha game is bad. Spend your money on this game instead. I want you to really hear this right now. I want you to really hear this. You're still spending the money.
2. The gacha game player base are the only group of people insane enough to glaze a game that charges Battlefield 6 money for one waifu or husbando.
First things first, you play Battlefield 6. Ew. Valid, fair point. Okay, that is a valid, fair point. I will give him that. That is a good point to be made. We do a lot of gacha players, myself included at times when I was deep in the Genshin shit show, was saying, no, I wanted to spend money on C2 Arataki Ito. Why wouldn't I? It's so much fun. But I tried to defend it. That's a dangerous mindset to have, and how they get that. By the way, Denzel, I don't know if you know this, but we're making a video, we're reacting to it. Hi, say hi to YouTube, everybody. If you liked it so far, like, comment, subscribe, and once again, absolutely no shade to Unit for Life. No shade. Respectful. We can disagree with opinions. We can just be respectful while we disagree. Okay? Gacha is just fighting $50 to gamble for an anime character. It's low-key sad because the character will get damage mogged in 3 nanoseconds, so you start beg maxing to your parents. It's a bit of a straw man because it's not 3 nanoseconds. I mean, this will happen, but not right away. Okay. Now, this is a video critique. This is a huge video critique right now. A lot of this has just kind of been, I want to include a meme, I want to include a joke. So I'm going to have random bullshit play in the background as this happens. I think you can cut this out because so far, this could have ended by now. If people really wanted to care about this, and people don't, you're using Gen Z humor. Gen Zs ain't reading all this, Chief. They're going to read Gacha Addicts justifying, alright, I'm bored now. That's just how it is. Attention span these days. You're going to be quicker than this. They would do what I'm doing right now, is just pause the button, read, okay, cool. Instead it's just... In fact, we can go further on here. You did it before, like the whole political intro here, you had the whole Jeffrey Epstein AI dancing, the weird Chinese segment here. It just doesn't work. Yeah. Like, instead of actually calling out the problem of power creep and saying, here's how we could change it, here's how we should change it, it's, you spent money, you're bad, you're stupid, bitch! Like, don't insult people when you want to make a point. Insult them after you've made the point. It's different. The insult can't be the point you're trying to make. The insult comes after the point, and it shouldn't even be an insult, it should be an insult where you make fun of yourself for being one of these, which I do quite frequently. Also, so what if you spend money on something like that? People will spend money on all sorts of stupid shit. Exactly. We shouldn't be calling people out. For example, this is a bit of an exaggeration, but it's also a good point. Because gacha games, gacha monetization, I should say, can lead to a slippery slope of gambling. I would know. I have been there. That's serious, by the way. I have been there. It's a genuine problem, which is why I'm so adamant about calling out and warning people the dangers of it. Because I've been there. It fucking sucks. I don't want anyone else to go through that. But you can spend money on a game like this, or you can spend money on something equally as addictive. For example, alcohol, drugs, a life-size Gundam battle suit. Which actually, no, wouldn't be a waste of it. That'd be really cool. But it's just... I get the point the video wants to make, but you're not making the point. You're just trying to be funny and insulting at the same time. It's just... Yeah, it's going to get good kept in 6 months, bruh. I would say yes, Denzel. It is another poor way of calling out the gamblers with a gambling addiction. And it should have been better than this. It should have been, here are the dangers of it, here's the warning of it, and I don't think it's done that. Which I will say, I do... It is a nice little video, compliment. Not this thing here. I've already talked about this. Hang on. I like this. I like this little transition. You're like, okay, here's the next scene. That's cool. That's fun. Just copy Fortnite or Warframe. Okay. That doesn't work. Look at Do a Night Abyss. Exactly. You're absolutely right, Shady. I have not seen one argument why China must abolish them. So unless we've got 5 minutes left, hopefully it appears there. If not, fuck. The only China-related thing they've included is 1, some of the games, and 2, this whole segment here. Nothing else. There's no argument been made. It's just, you're a bitch for spending money. Play Fortnite. This is just the world's best Fortnite advertisement. Not that Fortnite needs to be advertised. Everybody knows of Fortnite. Yeah, or why specifically China? as we've said, as we've shown before, and you know what? I will just show it again. As we've done before. Okay, China bans Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail. They could outsource it to another area. And you still have all of these. You still have all the non-Chinese gacha games. This video is basically... It wants to say... remove or change or improve the monetization of gacha being used. The gacha system itself that games use in their roguelike aspects is really good and really fun, because it can be when it's done right. This video has not made that yet, but there's still a lot more to go, so let's get to the end. It does not help
that the community itself is filled with people who are either experiencing psychosis and bootlickers who think that the multi-billion-dollar corporation gives a shit what they have to say on the fascist propaganda app. Then you also have the Israeli paid Mossad agent saying, how this got...
Where does that come into this? Oh, look at these paid Israeli Mossad agents. Where the fuck does this come into that? It's about a video game, bro. What? Granted, here's the issue. You had a good point. Exactly, they had a good point, right? Listen to this.
The community itself is filled with people who are either experiencing psychosis and bootlickers who think that the multi-billion-dollar corporation gives a shit what they have to say.
End it there. Don't say on the fascist propaganda rap paid by Israeli. No, it's... You should just say, and everyone says it, I've said it constantly, I'll keep saying it, these companies are not your friends. They want your money first and foremost. It's just that some, like Kuro Games, know if you make a product that's, good and you treat the player base well, you're more inclined to spend money.
On the better than the other one. Guys, I'm excited for this new gacha game. People just need to have better self-control. Guys, just plan your polls, because this new character is going to be so beneficial for you. Like, this shit is like the New York Stock Exchange or some shit. And
it does. It feels like, okay, here's the younger audience who don't know about gacha yet. And you can tell it's marketed towards them because of the style of humor being used. Not that humor's funny, but yeah, humor's personal preference.
And here is the part that gave me this awakening type shit, is that some people genuinely think and believe that they could somehow reform this predatory and wealth extracting mechanism, much like capitalism in its purest cocaine-fueled form. And no, you just can't. Not in any meaningful way, that is. Because everything is made to ensure maximum...
I don't understand why this video is trying to be so political. I really don't. This video would be better if you weren't trying to add, the political jokes and talk about Israel or Assad or China. Still not made that point yet about why China has to abolish these games. Oh, say you're making little jokes about capitalism, right? China's communist. What? It doesn't even fit if that's the point you're trying to make.
Amounts of profit can be made. And sure, they might budge a little on certain issues, but most of the well-meaning people don't spend that much money to begin with. And these capitalists who owns the company don't give a shit, because they're not losing money. And much like the American democracy, they only listen to you if you give them enough money. On a side note, it's also probably the reason that they always insist on
Finally, for the first time, actual gameplay of a gacha game while you're talking about gacha games. None of this, listen up about Israel and the fascist propaganda of Twitter. Like, finally, you get into the point.
Releasing their games on mobile, because logically speaking, right, releasing on mobile just tanks the potential things that they can do.
Also, another video critique, you should use Gian on this. If you're going to do this, if you're going to compare both, you can't have the exact same boss, the exact same setting, two different characters. It has to both be Gian, it has to both be Chixia. It can't be one or the other.
With the game, because they still have to make the game.
Because that will really be a better comparison, so to say.
somewhat playable on a 5-year-old Android phone so that a chud from Southeast Asia can still play the game and spend money on the game. But at the same time,
Okay, that was funny. That was funny. I'll give him that.
it's also counterproductive because
Exactly,
the
Denzel,
size
you're right.
and storage requirement of these games.
They want to get new players hooked first because we are already consumers. But that doesn't mean you should ignore the already pre-existing consumers.
Games is starting to creep
some
up
companies
on,
know that better than
games
most.
like Call of Duty, where it's almost 200 gigabytes. So like, what's the point of releasing it on mobile?
And that's another good point to be made, actually. I think a lot of these gacha games, and I have to say gacha games because people don't know the difference yet. Between, I say know the difference. It's still a game, but gacha game is easier to identify it. That right there is another big problem with the word gacha. How do you identify whether Wuthering Waves is a gacha game or not? You have to say it's a gacha game. But it's like, once again, Hades 2, any roguelike is technically a gacha game because it has the gacha system in it. It doesn't have the monetization of it. Yeah, I feel like he is trying to defend, like, hey, Call of Duty might not be the most optimized, but look at Wuthering Waves on mobile. Have you seen that shit? Nah.
The worst part of it is that they know that anime and gacha fans are easily entertained or satisfied, or that a lot of them.
Oh my god, games are fun. What? Are you telling me I've been playing games to have fun? What the fuck? Yeah, of course. What?
Due to their material conditions, find comfort and refuge in anime characters, and create somewhat of a pseudo.
God forbid people have an escape from the shit show that is happening in the world right now. God forbid you're living in. Look at the current tension with Mexico. God forbid somebody just wants to get a distraction from the ongoing political climate over there right now and watch like one episode of My Hero Academia or Dragon Ball. God forbid.
Parasocial relationship to the characters and the world of these games, because it's an opioid of the masses in the modern day to escape the harsh reality of life in this capitalistic system. Take that, Karl Marx. You didn't see that one coming, did you? I'm joking. Maybe. And so they exploit these things to extract as much value from you. Everything is designed to keep you hooked on the game. And in a way, it's actually worse than gambling. Because with Gacha...
Worst? What?
these things to extract as much value from you. Everything is designed to keep you hooked on the game. And in a way, it's actually worse than gambling. Because with gacha games, people can come up with more excuse for their addiction or attachment, and they can also rationalize it. And
I don't think that's true. Like, Shady, you've made the point I was going to make. If you fail in a gacha, you still get something, and then you can go further. Have you ever heard the phrase double or nothing? Look at this. You're in a casino, right? You got the roulette wheel. You spin that, you say, okay, give me 50,000 on black. It lands on black. Congratulations, you've now got 75,000. Do you want a double or nothing? Sure, I'll go double or nothing. Give me black again. The roulette wheel spins. The ball lands on red. You lose it all. You're left with nothing. How is that better? How is losing potential thousands better than I've spent $200 on Wuthering Waves. I lost a 50-50, but then I got the character. I got Imeth. Bro, you... Look, okay. I have to say this right now, Unifier. I get what you're trying to say. I get the points you want to make. You have not made them. I think you've missed the mark. You're trying to be too funny. I think that's the issue. You're trying too hard to be like, hey, look how funny and charming my personality is, rather than, here's the point I want to make. Because I still don't understand why must China abolish gacha games in 2026? You have not said that yet. The only thing I can even glean from this is you think the monetization is bad, and you would be correct. Exactly, we're going to address the point gachas are actually affordable, because they can be. Like, once again, let's go to the shop. Is this affordable? Not for everybody. Is this affordable? Yes. It's $4.99. I have this right now because it was affordable at that moment in time. Because I can get that. Once again, I get the point you want to make, bro, but I don't think you're making it. Okay. Gaming Guy feel like praise more on people who can't afford things or are trying to make a lot of money. Gacha games are mainly heavy spenders who actually afford to lose money. You're right, Sparkle. Gambling and gacha, whilst they are loosely connected together. Yeah, so gaming PCs, let's say $1,000. A AAA is 80. Exactly. Like, let me open up my Steam library real quick. Look at Metaphor ReFantasia. I've not installed it. I've not played it. This cost me a lot. This cost me, say, half of what Imouth would have. Well, it was meant to be Luke, but this cost me half of what Luke was for. But once I'm done with Fantasio, that's it, I'm done. You can go back into a gacha game, you can buff it up. It's not to say the monetization is good, it's not, but there are things there. Yeah, convert to gacha currency, and we're going to carry on with us.
And all of it is not inherently wrong, because sometimes, yeah, it does bring comfort. But it's just people don't like it when you point out the inherent issues with their favorite thing or the thing that brings them comfort. In this
See, those are the people who need to hear it the most, and those are the people who, have to hear it the most. I've been one of them, being like, you try 2023, you say one bad thing about Genshin Impact, I guarantee I'm its biggest defender. To 2022, I should say. I'm its biggest defender. Now, I'm like, hey, I understand you like this game. It has some things that are really scummy about it. I want to warn you what that is and how you can go about mitigating that by saying, plan your pulls accordingly, because no, it's not bullshit. I'm trying to be helpful. Do we see what I'm saying there?
this case, the inherent predatory nature of gacha games that takes advantage and exploits people's weaknesses and vulnerabilities. So here's the thing. From my point of view, if you want to see stuff like overt sexualization of characters or power creep to go away, you must be for the abolishment of the gacha mechanic itself. Because so long as the gacha mechanic exists,
gacha monetization, not the mechanic. Otherwise, if you get rid of the gacha mechanic, you have to get rid of Sparksy. Sparkle, yeah, you have to. If you say get rid of the gacha mechanics, you have to get rid of Sparksy. Do you know why? Because you're pumping in skill points to enhance this skill. The more you invest, the better chances you get. That is a gacha mechanic in this game. The monetization is how you get the character. You want to abolish getting the character, make it easier to do that, not the character itself. Like currency wars, or the weekly modes these games have.
Abolishment of the gacha mechanic itself. Because so long as the gacha mechanic exists, these companies will continue to find different ways to exploit you, just so you could spend more money on their product. Because they will always exploit your tendency to be parasocial, and they know you guys have heavy FOMO. So they...
True. Finally, a good point being made. Finally, it only took 11 minutes 15 seconds of all these weird nonsensical memes that you didn't have to include the minute-long segment of China.
They will always take advantage of that. And I also don't know about you guys, but a game that doesn't have a gambling mechanic like the gacha mechanic is overall a lot more fun to play. And because I know what I'm paying for, I am actually more willing.
Also, fun is subjective, first and foremost. You can't say, hey, this game is more fun because I enjoy more fun, or because I have more fun on the game. You can't say that. Fun is subjective. That's like saying, I love Witcher 3. You could say, yeah, I like Call of Duty. Sure, we like two different things. Two things can be fun at the same time.
Willing to spend money on a game because I am getting what I paid for with no chances.
What you paid for? Oh, the skins. Yeah. You've still spent money on the game.
Of getting anything else that I don't want. Or, worse, not getting what I actually wanted. So please...
That's because reruns exist.
Help us, Mao Zedong. Get rid of these bourgeois
Exactly.
game devs.
Has you played a moment? And we're back to the Chinese... Why does it have to get rid of it?
who only know how to exploit the average gooning-minded anime fan. These devs know that the players are easily controlled with attractive characters or big damage numbers. Please help us, Xi Jinping, and abolish the gacha system and replace it with a Fortnite item store. I promise we will
Oh, you mean the dispenser in Limbus Company?
still spend money on the games and help China's economy so that it can finally start transitioning into socialism, so on and so forth. I mean, look, these new games that are coming out are doing it and getting rid of the gacha system, so it's possible.
And look at Do a Night Abyss now. We got rid of the gacha monetization. Look at Do a Night Abyss. It's still an unoptimized, janky mess. It's still the biggest advertisement for playing Warframe.
It's possible, so please, Mr. Xi Jinping, do it.
I will say the whole sub for fee thing is pretty funny though. But yeah, no, this I guess we're gonna get final words out. I don't want this to be too long. The video did not convey the message you wanted it to convey. It did not hit the points you wanted to make. In fact, I still don't know for the life of me why China must abolish gacha games. It should have been a better title. Alternative title is Why China Must Abolish Gacha Monetization in 2026. But then you get rid of that. You still have to optimize the game to be good. Okay? Let's turn off a gacha game into non-gacha games and I'll gamble my life. Exactly. Like, I'd much rather spend $200 on Wuthering Waves, Star Rail, Limbus Company, Fate Grand Order, Raid Shadow Legends, whatever. League of Legends, anything, than go to a casino and lose $2,000 in 5 minutes. I'll tell you this one. Okay, Steam charts. Okay, Do a Night Abyss. But yeah, it's just a case of the video did not cook the way you wanted it to. Now, like I did last time, I would do it again. Some critiques with the video. Just a lot of the memes that you have included, I don't think need to be like this here. You didn't need this. This could have been a 5 seconds. You pause this to read it, blah, 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 then carry on the rest of the video. The intro to get to the point, I believe you finally got to the point. Where was it? It was roundabout.
And how the elite continues to
right
live
here.
off of my...
You're still trying to get to the point. Okay, where was the point being made? Blah, 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 blah. It's been a minute long. You want to keep this to at least 10 to 25 seconds, maybe 30. Because right now, I guarantee a lot of people have turned this off. I guarantee a lot of people are going, yeah, I'm good. Oh, whatever. You keep going here. I like this whole segment here. In fact, where does this start? Let's count this.
Baby.
So 1 minute, we'll say 1 minute 40. So from 1 minute 40, we keep going. Okay.
I know that.
Maybe you attempted satire. That took 45 seconds. And that 45 seconds could have been made or put to better use of going, here's the point I want to make, I'm going to expand on that. Or you could make the point here, and then, as you get here, talk about it. Exactly, you just made a 12-minute, 20-second video of Gacha Bad. And you briefly explained why, and then you glazed Fortnite. This isn't the video you wanted it to be. That being said, there is room for improvement, absolutely. Hopefully, if you see this, you take it to heart. Once again, all love and respect. I don't want anyone to be negative or harass anybody. But they've got an opinion out there. Fair play. It takes a lot of courage to do that. It just so happens that sometimes opinions aren't that good. And I sad to say, I do disagree with this. But, hey, that's what opinions are for. Open discussion, whatnot. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. This video's over. Let me know your thoughts about why you think China must abolish gacha games. Preferably without as much memes and whatnot and nonsensical stuff. And I guess I'll catch you for the next one. Stay refreshing.